This setup is looking at using stereo in COPS and Copernicus, stereo footage, and stereo coming from the scene. So I just used a crappy USB camera that outputs a left and right image together as one. In this case, I just configured it at 2560 by 720. And then I stashed it here just so that we're not using live video here in this example. We're just using this single frame. And then this is the custom part. I made a simple Muxer, and basically that is written in OCL, and it's pretty simple what it's doing. It's creating an anaglyph mode, and then the interlace mode is super advanced. It's just saying modulus, so each line be left, and then the other, odd line be left, even line be right, or whatever. And so it's really simple, very simple code, but it runs fast, which is great because it's OpenCL. So I've saved this HTA link here on YouTube so you can download this. And let's have a look at that. So basically it's taking this left and right image, and instead of using crop, I find the new crop in COPS to be really confusing, and I was able to get a better output here. But basically what I wanted to do is to take the left and set left and right and set right and crop those out. I found this method worked better to get a single image. You can see here I'm in the anaglyph mode, and so to align the images horizontally and vertically, obviously you have your typical hit, and so here you can see I can adjust the image horizontally and vertically until I get the alignments that I want. And then in the Muxer I can also set what kind of anaglyph mode you want, swap eyes, and then also mode 3D. If you zoom in here, this will interleave it, and so it work on your screen. Obviously here it's not going to work if this is a 3D TV that you're looking at this on. So what I've also made here that I showed in another video is I created full screen out, and the reason is that if I were to go and preview this content, you could see here that if I made this full screen, I've got these stupid bars up here, this title bar, and even if I try to set this full screen, there's a setting somewhere here where you can say pixel to pixel, and you do get pixel to pixel, but the problem is that I've got these bars on the top and bottom, and I want to see the full image out. So hopefully that's something that Side Effects adds in the future, but let's go back to where we were. So this is the base Muxer tool that I've added here, and I'm just going to set it back to anaglyph mode. And then down here, what I'm doing is this is just seeing the actual view out from either live video or from the stashed image. And then down here, this is just taking the live video, and this is really cool. You can cable pack the left and right image, and then down here, let's have a look at this. We'll come back to that, sorry. If we look at I'm collecting geometry from the left and right camera let's go up to our object level view here, and you can see here, and I don't normally use the stereo camera rig here in Houdini. I usually make my own. I prefer to do that. And cameras in Houdini are a bit odd anyway, because they don't let you move a backplate. They move the lens and then offset from there, which is difficult to deal with when you're doing deep compositing. So I have a left and right view here that I then take into COPS. So here's camera left view and camera right, and then I rasterize those, and then for now I'm just texturing a checkerboard on them. And then same thing, I'm hitting that to, I don't have camera match yet, that's something I'll add in the future, but hitting these to locate them over top of this. That'll be clear in a second. So let's look at our over here, and you can see that I am overing, this case is showing the left image, whichever one comes in first. And this is really cool, is that when you cable pack stuff, I'm cable packing left and right, and down here I'm cable packing left and right, and then this over is doing it, both of them. It's doing it over for left and it's doing it over for right in like a like a loop in like one node. So this is really neat that I can do multicam like this. The problem is that if I had multiple channels in my left, like you know, alpha and different AOVs, you can't nest cables. So I'd still have to make a ton of nodes to deal with this. So if you have multiple cameras and multiple channels, this is a setback because currently, and I'm not sure if they'll address this in the future, you cannot nest cables. But you can do this, which is quite cool. So for just single channel, for just goofing around with a USB stereo camera and not a full-fledged stereo shot from a film with CG AOVs, a bunch of them that I want to comp, that would be difficult with this setup. But for this is fine. And so I have my over, and then I cable unpack it and back to left and right again, and then feed that into my Muxer. And you can see here that I have the CG elements that were rastered from the stereo camera at the object level, comped over top of the live video background coming in. And obviously I can make a hit adjustment to move that backward and forward over the scene. And then here I'm resampling it to the screen size to make sure, because my second monitor, which you can't see, this is my main monitor, which is 3840. My second monitor is 1920, and I have to resample that before I use these full screen out tools. And the great thing about these full screen out tools, and so if I say set this viewer on, you can't see it, but it is going to my second monitor, and right now it's doing an anaglyph, so that's kind of useless because my second monitor is a TV and it's a stereo TV. So I want to go and set our Muxer here to be interleave. So this is interleaving correctly on my second monitor, and I'll show an image here. And that allows me to wear my polarized glasses, and I can now see the scene correctly in 3D without any bars on the side. And it is pixel to pixel matching so that the stereo is correctly showing. I also have an FFmpeg version of this, and this is just how much to offset by pixels to show on the other screen, and you say launch stream. That one's slower though than the QT one. So the QT one, you just have to say don't close the viewer to get it to show up, and then what screen you want it to be on. But this is quite important to be able to show full screen versus this, which is obviously not going to go full screen. It's got these bars and stuff on the side, which is fairly annoying, whereas this will fill the whole screen. The disadvantage is that if you do this method, you will get your full frames per second. This one will definitely drop your frames per second, but it's still useful to evaluate and work on stereo. I think that's about it. I'm going to save the Muxer HDA again with a YouTube link, so you can download that and use that. This is just a first pass at setting up stereo in Copernicus. Obviously there's a lot more to work on, and obviously I've done a bunch of machine learning and AI stuff to do auto conversion that also I've mixed in, not in this project, but I'll probably show in some future videos when it's in a more presentable format.